Hi, we're Wiser Systems. My name's Seth Holler, CEO, and we are at our last day of Fabtech 2025. Can you believe it? So a lot of excitement here. I wanted to punctuate the end of this with a little bit of discussion of the vision for RTLS real-time location systems and how it fits with your vision as well. So as a manufacturer, I would say one question to ask is, do you have a strategy for getting more insight and awareness into your fabrication process? And does that involve real-time location systems? Real-time location systems meaning knowing where things are all the time, wherever they are in your fabrication facility. So it's very important to have that awareness. It enables a number of things. There are different phases along the way that we find that our customers kind of evolve over time. But ultimately, what it enables is getting you more towards what we could call as Industry 4.0, or moving more towards greater production efficiency, more automation, and more opportunities for savings, and improving accountability and quality in your processes. So let me just go through a couple of the phases. Phase one, opportunity. You don't know where stuff is, and you absolutely need to find it because there's cost associated with not finding it. Things that you want to track include work in process, materials, tools, tooling, equipment, gauges. All of those are items that our customers track. And when they can't find them, they either A, have to spend a lot of time looking for them, which is a cost, both in terms of not getting product out the door, but also in the labor of actually finding the items, or B, you have to buy more of it, which is also a big cost as well. And again, buying more of it also delays getting things out the door because you can't buy it that very second. Equipment, for example, suppose you have test equipment and they're on rollers or carts and you move them around and you might have 8 of them and you don't know where they are and you need one right away. So you could either buy that test equipment, so buy more of them. It involves a cost, or you could simply spend the time to look for them. Either way, having a real-time location system in place so you know where it is means that you can go get it right away, and that equipment is used more efficiently and your dollars are used more efficiently. So phase one. Phase two, we start doing this while a lot of our customers do end up just starting based on that one use case alone, and that's how they develop their ROI. But now, once you have this data, you not only have present and accurate data for the time at the moment, but also you have the history of the data. So you know where that equipment has been, or that gauge has been, or that tool has been, and you know the path that it's traveled over time, and you know it over days, weeks, months, or even years. So you can find out the path these items have taken. You can put together spaghetti diagrams. For example, do you mind putting up the spaghetti diagram real quick? I have Logan, my trusted helper here right now, wear many hats, as you all know. So you have spaghetti diagrams. And in the spaghetti diagrams, you start to understand how items are being used effectively. So government-owned assets, another use case for companies that do have government-owned assets, but they need to have audit trails associated with them. So here's an example. It's more or less a lot of spaghetti, but that traces out the paths within our office, for example, of the vacuum cleaner, the Roomba, going through its daily tasks. Other items that have kind of the next phase, I would say, would be looking at how the part or item work in process goes through different production steps and how long it stays at each production step. So that could be a whip chart or a waterfall chart, and that's what we have below. Basically showing at each step of the way how long it's staying at each step, and that allows you insight into, are there delays happening that are unreasonable, and can I target that to improve my overall production? Once you start having general overall awareness of where your stuff is, you can start running a tighter ship, getting parts through more quickly, and then basically being able to have additional checks on your process. An example would be calibrated gauges. Suppose you have calibrated gauges that need to be calibrated every year. You need to know where they are to calibrate them. And sometimes it's a big pain if you have 100 gauges and they're floating throughout the facility and you just have no idea. And sometimes maybe calibration, that date for calibrating gets skipped, and suddenly a tool, there's a lot of pressure to get a part out the door. And so someone just grabs this gauge and doesn't check whether the data is expired or not, and uses it on your piece, on your work in process. And now you have a part that's going out the door that was being worked on with or tested on with a gauge that's out of spec. And so you have a quality issue then. Not the biggest deal if you detect the quality issue internal, but it starts becoming a bigger deal when you go outside and it actually fails in the field. So failure in the field obviously can be both a big financial cost, a big reputational or brand cost. In some cases, if you're talking about mission critical systems, airplanes, aerospace, for example, or defense, that can definitely potentially lead to loss of life, which is definitely a big deal. So there's those elements. Kind of the phase 3 element is now you have these spaghetti diagrams, you have whip charts, but can you do even more? And the foray here is in taking advantage of machine language or advanced analytics or AI. You can start recognizing patterns where you can anticipate where you would have buildup over time based on the general workflow. So all of that, the phase 1, simply finding things. Phase 2, charting with analytics, whip charts, waterfall charts, spaghetti diagrams, and then kind of the phase 3 is, excuse me, getting an overall understanding and being able to detect issues before they happen with the amount of data that you have. Improves overall your production, both in terms of getting things out the door more quickly, doing it at a lower cost, and also having a greater quality. So if you want to think about the bigger vision of things, it is having the ability to, the enabler being a real-time location system, and then having the ability to start automating and analyzing in ways that you weren't previously unable to do. So here at Fabtech 2025, great chance to talk. Glad we had a chance to talk to you about this. Look forward to talking to you more. If you have any questions, please go to our website, send us an email, fill out a form. We'd happily talk to you in more detail. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.